Beaver, away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to KritzKast. We have potentially one of the closest games of the season so far. It is in fact a rematch of the High Grand Final last season. Season 13 saw two teams duke it out through the playoffs to try and take that coveted automatic promotion spot into Premiership. inVision came up against Lucrosa. inVision having won Season 11 high/mid division, which should have gave them the automatic promotion, but some division changes in Season 12 saw them have to wait even longer. Had another chance in the grand final, but they lost out to the eventual winners Lucrosa. And inVision had to battle it out through the preseason playoffs in order to book their place for Season 14 Premiership. So they are here today, and they're going to be looking to get some revenge on their conquerors of last season. The two teams have had differing fortunes so far. inVision having played against both SCCK and Strong Opinions, losing both games. However, they have got some points so far, whereas Lucrosa have been struggling also. Did lose against Strong Opinions in week 3, but that big victory, that 4-2 Golden Cap victory against Tourette's Chess Club, of all people, in week number 1, has been their only points so far. So these two teams still have the potential to reach the playoffs. However, the loser here today could be facing the doom of relegation. I'm CeeJaey. Joining me is Chando with Wiethoofd on the camera. Chando, are you excited for this game?
Absolutely, CeeJaey. It's I'd say this is potentially one of the biggest rivalries in the Premiership division at the moment. Both these teams, they work incredibly hard. They work maybe harder than any team in Prem at the moment to try and improve as in terms of energy and in terms of their own DM, and they are both so committed. Two very committed team leaders, Stingen and Kronk. So yes, this is going to be a very tough game, and I think both of them are going to be wanting to establish themselves as the dominant debut team in Prem and try and secure their spot for future seasons as well.
Absolutely. And I mean, both teams, like I said, they've had differing fortunes. You could argue that they've had exactly the same fortunes because they both lost to SCCK. Both lost to Strong Opinions. They both lost 2 games. But they've also both beaten Chess Club, which is no mean feat. Chess Club may not be the same roster that they had back in their days of winning Prem. However, they still got some strong names on that roster. This is still a lot of top players playing for Chess Club. So for both of these teams in their first season of Prem, to be able to get a victory over that team must be a nice feather in their cap. But they are going to be looking for more. Of course, inVision having won 6-0 on their official, currently occupy a slightly higher place than Lucrosa. So they are in 4th. They are 6 points behind the playoff places at the moment. Lucrosa further 2 points behind. So just, you guys can't see the table, but to give you a bit of perspective, the top 3 teams go to playoffs. They'll be contesting it out in a what's known as a bubble bracket. And the bottom 2 teams will be relegated. So, there is a lot of pressure, I would say, on this game. Not just because, trying to get into playoffs. You don't make playoffs, it's not the end of the world. I mean, these two teams are in their first season. To get into playoffs in your first season, it's not something you usually expect. However, they don't want to be relegated straight back after just one campaign. And I think this is where the team that wins here today, Chando, is probably looking on the better side of staying in Prem.
Well, I mean, absolutely. This is a match that both teams feel are going to be very confident about. They both think that they both think that they are the dominant ones compared to the other, and I think there's going to be a little bit of friendly rivalry between the two in terms of trying to work out who's going to come out on top there. And I reckon, both have a very good shot. I mean, inVision, you're saying that they've unfortunately taken a couple of losses, but I was casting the SDCK versus inVision match just a few days ago. In fact, it was on CP Steel, and inVision played some of the best Highlander that I've seen for a long time. I mean, they still lost, but it was against one of the best teams in the league at the moment on a map that can be very difficult, especially for new teams in terms of their synergy and stuff like that. And I'd consider this new inVision roster something of a new sort of fit, but they did so well. It came down to literally a matter of seconds. Some of the first round, a matter of seconds, and on the second one, not so much. But they really had some good push-ins, and they had some incredible defenses. So despite losing, they've still got to hold some good confidence. I think is going straight into this map against Lucrosa.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I totally agree with what you said. Against SCCK, it was literally seconds in it on that first round. They could have got it if it wasn't for a few seconds. And, to consider that they could have got even a round off of SCCK on arguably one of their strongest maps. They also went close against Strong Opinions in week 1. The second round, it wasn't casted, but I can say from experience, I was there. On the second round, they actually went pretty close. They actually managed to get into last and get near enough to managing to nearly get a round. So it must boost the confidence to come up against the top teams and think, okay, we're actually playing well. And, that you come in, no disrespect to any other teams, but you come in against other teams and you think, okay, well, if we can compete against the top, then the rest of them, we surely must have a really decent chance. So, I mean, it's been interesting. Normally we see the newer teams into Prem struggling, but these guys have certainly put on performances. Lucrosa as well, likewise. They've had a few changes to their roster since they won high last season, but it is still very much the same core. And to win against Chess Club, they've also put themselves, in the points as well so far this season. I know inVision had a warm-up against Failure, which I do think they won a map. So, they're coming into it with some form. And they actually do have their full roster. So I'm going to go over the inVision roster because the Lucrosa roster is a little bit up in the air. There are some few mercs. There's been a bit of discussion on who was going to be allowed and stuff like this. We may be changing server because people are complaining that they can't enter, but we're going to quickly take a look at inVision roster, which has been pretty much the same all season. So on Scout, we are going to have Thazu, who played in High. I think he played in the High Grand Final. I think he was on the losing team, unfortunately for him, but he is a very strong Scout. On Soldier is I Stole Your Bees. On Pyro will be Hugo. Now, Hugo, formerly known as 1HP, was on the Lucrosa roster at the start of the season. He played a couple of officials for them before leaving the team for inVision. I don't know the inside drama, if there was any drama, or whether it was just an amicable transfer, but who knows? Maybe he'll be looking to put one over his older teammates. On Demo, we are going to have Yixo, formerly of Crazy Boy Clan. Heavy is Tuja. Engineer is going to be, I think it's Barrett. Medic is Tercio. Sniper is Kunu. And Spy is going to be Tommy. So there's a lot of players there. The likes of Tommy, Tuja, Tercio, they've all been on the same team for a long time. But they've added some players, Chando, like the likes of Kunu and Hugo. People like that have come in and kind of maybe strengthened up their roster a little bit more.
Well, it's not the case of Kunu, and definitely in the case of Hugo as well. These are some definite rising Highlander superstars at the moment. Kunu recently got a Premiership debut of the season in his debut season, obviously, but it's impressive for a sniper to get Premiership debut, and he definitely deserved it as well. He was amazing in Crazy Boy Clan, and he's proved himself in this current season as well against some of the best competition that's out there. I've seen him sort of contest against the likes of sort of Cloudy and whatnot, some of the former best in Europe. So very strong potential for that young man there, as well as people like Ixo doing quite well in Crazy Boy Clan. He's moved over to inVision now. You can say they kind of had a little merge, and yeah, he's been really flourishing as well. So a lot of these new rising talents on inVision and on Lucrosa as well, and I think it's really helping both the Highlander scene and their teams as well truly flourish.
Absolutely, and we've seen some really strong performances out of a lot of these players. Kunu, like you mentioned, he has actually been performing very well. If you want to check out the stats spreadsheet, I know logs don't mean everything, but his numbers have been pretty positive, as have Hugo's. Looking very strong on their respective classes. We do have Lucrosa players joining in the server, and there are a few mercs, and you know, people are sending me messages about who's the Def Merc and who's this and that. So looking at their team, I do believe their lineup is going to be Jimmy on Scout. I'm not sure if that's the real name or if that's an alias. I'm not sure. Kazuki on Soldier. On Pyro is going to be Garden Fungus. Now, Garden Fungus is merking for them. He is, of course, a former Pyro for SCCK. On Demo is Nos, C-Nos, however you want to pronounce it. I've been told it's Nos, so that's what I'm rolling with. Heavy is going to be Kronk, the team leader. Engineer is Rambosaur. Now on Medic is Grabber, returning to the scene after a while away. Sniper, now Sniper normally is Andrew, who recently played for DK and is now a Platinum Champion for DK in the NA scene. And merking instead of him tonight is Boar, who has won 4 Platinum Champions with DK. So I want to argue and say it's like for like. You got 2 American snipers. Boar obviously playing for Strong Opinions the past couple of seasons, and there's been last season was Sniper and MVP of the season. So that's not a bad merc to have in your back pocket to come and play for you. And finally, on Spy we have Chupa, who is a player. He's really good. He's one of the best cloak and stab spies I think I've ever played with and against. So there's plenty of talent there as well, Chandis, but we are live. In the blue is going to be Lucrosa with inVision in the red. We're starting on King of the Hill Coalplant. We haven't even had a chance to talk about how this is a returning map. First time since season 11, but Chando, tell me what you see on this mid fight.
Well, it's the usual Kazuki going to be making that aggressive jump now onto his top platform there. Putting some damage onto the sniper, he's going to be backing out, and Garden Fungus getting the pick onto Peas is going to give the edge over to Lucrosa. Kanoz there, playing a very aggressive playstyle. It's what we usually see from him, and damn, it works, because he's just absolutely walked across that point there. And yeah, they've given it all up their ball. Getting the pick onto the Zoo as well is going to finalize the first engagement, and Jimmy as well getting the pick onto Ixo and onto Kuno as well. I don't know who this man is. I will have to find out soon, but he is absolutely annihilating so far.
Yeah, doing really well, and you know, there's nothing better than to just grab a sniper and a demo pick really late on in the fight, because those guys are going to have slightly longer respawns. It's going to take them longer to get back into the fight. So Lucrosa quite comfortably winning that first mid fight. Nice reflect kill from Garden Fungus during that. So the Merc doing good straight out of the blocks. We do see some aggression here. Cooney trying to get some snipes on. Bit of a passive hold here from Lucrosa. But Jimmy there is still fragging, picks up a frag onto Bees. Noz is the furthest person forward, just trying to get some spam down. But it seems to be a bit of a passive kind of push here. Yixo and Yugo now, the 2 Ys pushing forward, trying to get some damage down. But both teams still have their Ubers. And Tommy there getting caught out, so he's not going to get a cheeky backstab or anything like that. And they're just trying to work some space here for Kunu. Barrett is just kind of babysitting him right now. B's trying to get some spam over the top. Ubers are used actually. Kuno goes down to Kazuki, but Ubers are traded on the point. Yixo is trying to jump away and survive here. Yugo doing a great job of just denying any space from Nos, so he's not able to take advantage there. And finally Yimi goes down to Thazu, who wins that fight. And we're kind of seeing a counter push in here from inVision now.
Yeah, I mean, they tried their best there, but Nos, along with Kronk, that combo was just so strong and able to hold them off there. Boar in the aftermath there, going down to a quick pick by Canoe from the main shutter doors there, but it's going to stay in favour of Lucrosa now, and with only about a minute left, inVision's really got to start doing something, doing a little bit more there. Their flank is just getting locked down from what I can see. I've seen a couple of bombs over from Peas, but it's getting denied by Jimmy. He's doing a lot of work on the flank there, and they need to get some entry picks right now. Canol's playing the very aggressive, does fall quite weak and backs out there, and Bees goes down as well to a body shot by Borb. Yugo getting the pick onto Chupa. Now they are getting ready to push here. Looks like a dry push, but Grabber's almost got now. There he is. He's going to have Uber advantage now by about 50%. And now they really need to get a wiggle on here, CeeJaey, if they want to get anything. They are just playing time here. And yeah, Tuja getting by Boar as well, slowing back even more.
Yeah, it's just kind of, they're trying to get forward here, and actually Uber is used onto Noz, and Tercio doesn't have his. He's trying to hightail it out of there. He's at 90%. He probably is going to get his chart, but Yixo is going to get dropped, and the cap didn't actually go down. The scout is in fact Ekeland. I just had a look on the roster. As the counter Uber comes in here, Yugo is going to get most of it. Takes down Boar. He's surely going to take down Kronk as well. He tries to go for the chase, sees anything else, but no. Grabber is really far away. He picks up the pack, so he's at full HP now, and despite Lucrosa losing a lot of their players, they have given up the cap as well. They only have 5 seconds left on that point, so as soon as they get that capture point, they are going to pretty much win the round. So Nos going down there, and so does Ekelund, so just kind of waiting for their 60s classes to maybe get him forward now and see if inVision can have a decent hold as Kunu gets a headshot onto Garden Fungus, and Yuga has the nice easy job of just chipping off that last remaining damage to get the frag. But good hold so far by Lucrosa here, Chando, but now it's to see if they can actually push and have the same kind of effect.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one thing to have a solid hold here, but they've got to be able to push just as well as Grabber actually getting taken down as well. That's going to set them back there. Kronk now going in very aggressively. Knaz jumping in as well. They're wasting no time. They've got this aggression. And Chuba getting the pick onto Yixo. The Zoo goes down as well, along with Tertio. A brilliant follow-up by Kasuki, in fact. Managed to completely change the tide for Lucrosa there. They mean they lost their medic and they just piled into the inVision roster. They absolutely perfect cohesion between Knaz, between Kronk and Kasuki following up there, and they were able just to completely annihilate the combo and recapture the point.
Absolutely. I mean, if your medic dies in that sort of situation, it's never good. I know as a medic, it's never feels good, and your team has to react, and they reacted in the exact correct way that they were supposed to do. And Ekelund here getting really aggressive onto Yixo. He just has to back off and get some heals, and there seems to be a lot of focus on the demo man here. But CeeJaey, he goes for the spy check. He knows where Chupa is, catches him out as Yugo takes down Nos, and Yugo actually gets 2 kills there. Takes out Garden Fungus as well. He's getting aggressive still. It's on the chase. Kronk goes down to the Pyro too. So big 3k there from the inVision. Pyro, but Kazuki comes up from behind. But most of that damage is blocked by Tommy. Tommy 27, who goes down to 2 HP. And inVision winning that mid fight this time around. And they do have 100% ready. Grabber, who seemed to get out quite early on in that fight, is up to 75%. Maybe they're going to want to push here, Chanda. There is 3, or actually no, maybe like 2 down with a couple of respawns on inVision, but they have a couple of players behind. Chupa and Ekelund are kind of causing hassle in the lobby.
Yeah, I mean, inVision are doing quite a good job of just sort of slowing them down a little bit here, but now it looks like they want to get a move on. They don't want to waste any time. The bomb from Kasuki gets forces Tertio really well there, and Kronk's in a good position just to look out for it there. However, Knaz maybe a little bit overextending and takes a death from that force. However, they are able just to walk back onto the point with Garden Fungus and Kronk getting that cap again, starting it off. inVision managing to take off about a minute or so. So, I mean, it's a decent hold, but that was a really nice force from Kasuki. He has been lethal in these upcoming seasons, and I think we're going to be seeing him really flourish rest of the season if Lucrosa take this victory.
Absolutely, he's been doing very well in the games that I've seen him, and the thing that impressed me more though, he got the force, survived, jumped away, jumped in again to do more damage, and then still got away again. Like, he's doing a lot of hassling and surviving, and his team didn't actually have to use Uber, so they still have 100%, and it's taken inVision a while to get up to that 90%, which they have now. So if they get Ubered on, they're going to be in trouble here, as a lot of damage goes down onto Yixo. TJ also goes down. So many frags going down. Tertio is not in a great position. Uber is used onto Yugo, and he is going to take down Nos, but I don't think he's going to be able to get much else, as he hasn't got the support from the rest of his team. Tertio does pick up the frag onto Garden Fungus, but Boar is going to get a quick 2 kills there onto the medic and the sniper. He is doing his job for the time being, and Grabber is going to build up that Uber. He's going to have a nice meaty advantage now, and Lucrosa take the lead in the time as well. So 1-0 to the good on the round score, but also in the time is in this second round. They are in the ascendancy here, and they're looking very, very strong at the moment, and I don't know, they seem to be doing it right here, Chando. As we see Bees goes in for the bomb, but just gets totally denied there. Kazuki down to about 5 HP, denies him there with a rocket. Bees comes in for more. Can he get anything down? No, but there's a lot of frags coming down. Board, Chupa and Kronk all go down there. Yugo is getting so aggressive here, and he actually forces the remaining players out, and they get the cap here.
Yeah, and really well played there by Yugo, actually. I mean, he's playing so aggressively, but he knows when to get out as well. He knows when to fall back and protect his team there. And Kasuki trying to go for a little bomb there to try and get maybe a pick onto the sniper, or even better still, the medic. But unsuccessful, unfortunately. But it's not going to stop Lucrosa. They're already back in. They are trying to push up here. And now, Tommy 27 almost getting that pick onto the medic, but turns around just in time, and Kronk's able to pick him off, and they're walking straight back on. Now the force comes out from both teams, and it's going to be slightly in favour of Lucrosa, but going on to Garden Fungus quite a lot, and And unfortunately, TF2 going to not lock 1 second. Barrett as well getting butter knife down, and they're going to be able to hold on to this quite substantially with only 1 minute left now. They're able to get a lot of picks there, and now, providing they can set themselves up, they've already established themselves as very good at holding the point, and now they've got it. If they can keep Boar healed and in a good position, I think they might be able to take this, as Kunu goes down as well. So yeah, they are looking in a very strong position. The stab, however, onto Boar might be changing everything as Tommy27 comes in and gets a brilliant backstab onto the sniper, and now inVision are going to come straight back in. It's going to be on to the heavy. The demo unfortunately goes down. Ixo not quite getting the heals he needs, and Garden Fungus pushing in to try and slow them down. Jimmy as well has to fall back, but TF2 going down. And they're going to hold on to it. That was a brilliant opportunity with no Boar there. But now with 100% Uber, Grabber's going to be able to hold on to this. Boar goes down as well, but still looking very strong for Lucrosa with only 20 seconds left.
Yeah, Yixo did a great job there. He just kind of jumped up onto the roof and put down a ton of damage, which just forced them away. I'll come back to that thought in a minute, as there is an Uber exchange. A lot of flashing from Lucrosa, but Yixo is there. He's kind of alone. He's at 36 HP. Does get taken down eventually. Kronk went down to his stickies, but looks like inVision are bleeding too many players. They're only 4 alive. Kazuki within the huge bomb takes down Barrett, and the sentry gun is also going to go down. Bees comes in for a bomb. Can he take down Grabber? Nice little mini air shot there. Does take down the medic, but it's not enough, as Lucrosa are going to keep control of that point to make it 2-0. So some good individual plays there from some of the inVision players. I mean, you know, Yugo's been doing really well, and there just seems to be so much going on that's working, but I don't know whether it's just the team cohesion's not there. And we're on to another mid fight here, and we see the demos getting, you know, fairly aggressive. Yixo gets some nice damage out, and we'll see if they decide to do anything else. Bees goes in right behind, straight onto the engineer, so Rambasaur totally out of this fight for the time being. And just look at Kronk. He's so far forward, he takes so much damage that he eventually dies, but he took a lot of space. He's made a lot of space for his team.
He has, yes. However, with Kanoz going down along with Kronk and Boar, that's pretty much going to be it for this first engagement for Lucrosa there. The inVision seem to be doing a lot better at just sort of pushing in there and getting the right picks on the right players there, and Kasuki nearly getting a pick onto Tertio there. That was very close, and also, I mean, it is also crits as well, so you know, let's keep that in mind. We might be seeing a smart crits play here. However, Grab on 100% should be able to react to it. Looks like they're going to be pushing back on. They are pretty clustered as well, pushing in now. Gotta wait and see. They've actually, the Uber comes out, and it looks like the Tertio medic with the crit is going to be able to hold back there. Kanoz getting the pick onto TF2, so they might be getting ready to go back in here as it comes out, but Garden Fungus is aware, and it's not going to do much.
Grabber, the crits comes out to the Yixo there. Sorry to interrupt, but Grabber with the arrows just shoots one at Yixo, takes him down, totally denying that crits play. So, I mean, I think Lucrosa knew that there was a crits, that's why they got so aggressive. They just pushed them off the point and went straight into lobby, and then Kronk just sat on the point, just kind of capping by himself. Although Lucrosa have dropped 4 players here. There's a lot of weak players on inVision. We'll see if they're able to recapture this point. They should be able to. Probably retake the lead as well. But it just seemed really well played by Lucrosa. I was wondering why they were getting so aggressive, but they come up against the crits. Can't keep you invincible. Kazuki comes in with the bomb. He finally does. He's allowed to get 3 rockets off. Tertio goes through, and he takes down Kunu as well. Oh my word. Nobody is going to stop him. Finally, Yixo lands a pipe onto him, but 3 players down for inVision. 2 of them are so key there. Why is nobody denying that soldier jump, I have to ask. Allowed free reign there onto 2 very, very important classes, Chando. They're going to be respawning now, but Grabber has 100% in the bank ready.
Yeah, and that's completely changed the outcome of the point quite clearly. As soon as Kazuki got those 2 picks there, you can just see Lucrosa was so eager to get across. They waste no time, and they seize any opportunity really well. And that's why I think they're playing so well today, CeeJaey, because whereas with inVision, they wait for pick after pick after pick before it's pretty much a certain cap, Lucrosa are taking those risks. As soon as they get a few, they're pushing on, and it's succeeding for them quite a lot because they've just got that really tight cohesion today. However, the Zoo on the back lines trying to get something, but unfortunately it's picked off by Crook. Almost gets Boar, but Bees goes in for the bomb there and manages only to take down the sentry gun, unfortunately, and they're holding this really well here, playing very aggressive. Kunu getting the pick onto Boar, might be able to open things up, and the crits comes out, but the Uber's out quick enough. Well flashed by Grabber. Now Tertia is going to go down. Kritz was completely ineffective for keeping him alive. TF2 as well. Just going to just stay in good hands for Lucrosa. As I say that, Grabber going down, followed by Kanaz. Who knew, just playing on the on their left side, sorry, was able to get 2 essential picks there. So now a completely game-changing situation for inVision if they choose to take this, but they've really got to be quick now as Tertia respawns 20% as well, and it looks like they're going to be pushing across the point there. They've just got to deal with Garden Fungus. He goes down to Tuja. They can now just start putting some spam onto Kronk and Kanaz. They can have a chance to get across there, but Kano goes down along with Fazu, and that's going to slow things back a little bit. They need to seize these opportunities. B is now playing on the high grounds, but it's not going to be enough. Kronk playing so aggressive. Hugo goes down along with Ixo, along with Tuja and someone else. Kazuki actually getting taken out, but that's not going to matter. It's still going in favour. Crosser.
The thing with crits, if you use crits, you need to, it either needs to be a surprise, or you need to time it so that you're using it, you know, when you need to use it. You know, you either force the Uber, back off, survive, and repush it. And inVision just didn't really work it out there. Kuni goes down to a backstep from Chupa. Yixo also down. Tuja goes down to Kronk. And that is going to be a clean sweep 3-0 on the first map to Lucrosa. So the victors of last season's high grand final retain their superiority, should I say, in the next season in the higher tier. And we'll have to see if Process is a different story. But I have to say, I am super surprised. I don't mean disrespect to anybody on these teams. I thought inVision had the edge based on the way that they've been performing. Like you said at the start, Chando, they had some really close games against both Strong Opinions and STCK, and I thought based on those results that, you know, we may see inVision have the slight edge here. But Lucrosa, just, they look so strong at the moment. They look really coordinated. They won pretty much every Uber exchange. Even though that some of the Uber exchanges from inVision looked really strong, the Yugo Pyro Ubers were great. Kuni was getting frags. You know, there were people making plays. Yixo was doing well, you know, as well. Bees was doing some good bombs, but it just seemed that it didn't kind of amalgamate as well as it did on Lucrosa. Everything on Lucrosa was just timed much, much better.
You could absolutely see the. I mean, I was watching a lot of it in third person when it came to those pitches there, and the difference in terms of sort of speed that Lucrosa had was phenomenal. They were wasting absolutely zero time. They got an essential pick or an essential 2 picks, and the whole team, all 9 of them, were on that point or they were around that point, and they were helping one another immediately, and it was just so. It was brilliant to watch, and you can just tell that it was impossible to counter. Because I wasn't seeing the same thing from inVision, and this is one thing I said I had the problem with them was on Steel. One of the reasons why I felt that they had lost against STC was for similar reasons. They weren't taking opportunity. They were waiting until it was too late, and they were wasting a lot of time before trying to commit to something. So they would just keep on holding off, and they were the was going down, and eventually they lost, and then it came to a matter of seconds on the match on Steel. And on this one, I think a similar problem, because they were waiting for these pushes. By then, you know, Bull was getting a good pick, Noz was putting some mega damage, and apart from some good plays by Yugo, I wasn't seeing the same amount of damage reciprocated, and it was a real shame, because I would have said that they had the edge.
Yeah, I mean, that final round, it did look like they were trying to switch things up. They were trying to play something different. They started running the crits. But, you know, to go back to the point I made previously, if you're running crits, you either need it to be a surprise, so you need to catch them off guard, or you need to, you know, get the force on the Uber using that crits, build up your advantage, because you're going to have an advantage, and then repush and try to destroy everything, or take advantage of that. And every time they had crits, they were too passive, and it didn't really work out for them, because Lucrosa already had Uber. And if you're constantly fighting against Uber, and the enemy team knows you're running crits, they're just going to waltz all over you every single time. I mean, the logs kind of don't tell that much of a story. And I'm not going to say it's because it was a roll. It wasn't really a roll. There were some good fights, but it was very one-sided. And you say Hugo there did very well 336 DPM as a Pyro. That's very high stats, even for the current Pyro meta mechanics and everything like that. But Garden Fungus just behind him, 1 kill behind, doing 18 for 7. Then we've got Noz, Kazuki, Ekeland, Boar, all of those guys. The top 5 of the top 6 are Lucrosa players there. So they all did very well. Boar going just under 420 DPM, Noz 470. So, there was a lot of frags, a lot of damage coming out of these guys. I don't think it's the stats, though. I think it's just Lucrosa took the space. They just walked forward when there was space, and they got the caps for free. I mean, is there anything you notice there on the logs?
The one thing that I would say would be, if you're looking at Ixo's damage compared to his kills, and it shows, in my eyes, 426 damage is nothing to grumble at. Especially compared to Knoz's 470, it's not that much of a difference, especially when you're considering that they were that they lost 3-0, but 5-13, and not even that many assists. Like it to me, it shows that damage is being wasted, that it's not being followed up on. Now, Ixo's putting out a lot of damage that could be followed up on there. I think where maybe they went wrong was no one was following up on it, unfortunately, and that seems to be the case to me. The only players who's I think two that was good would be Hugo, and I think the only good damage player from inVision game was Ixo as well. So I think that something in the lines of listening to your calls, listening to your damage numbers, and following up on them might be needed for inVision if they want to reclaim this map.
Absolutely, and especially this is a different map. It is Process, it is a 5CP map, but there is still that kind of DM basis around it. And that's, I totally agree with what you said. Yixo's damage, he had some good plays there. He was putting out a lot of damage. He was getting forces and things like that, but he was dying a lot more. And I think maybe the protection, like the combo unity wasn't there. And maybe that, had something to do with it, but also cleaning up on that damage. And if you're not all focusing the same fights, it doesn't matter if you do 100 damage to every class and they're all 25, 50 HP at the end of a fight. If all of your players die because you're being focused one by one, of course you're going to lose that fight. Like, there's no point in them being weak for the next fight. They're just going to heal up. You take a look at the medics. Grabber died 3 times, which isn't very much at all. Tercio only died 7 times though, so it's not as if there was a major difference between the two teams. I think both medics played as well as they could and got out of fights, but it's just there needs to be that focus fire. So we'll see if that happens in this map. Lucrosa still in the blue, 3-0 on Coalplant. See if they can do the same on Process. inVision looking to get their own back here on the red, and both the demos here are going to meet quite close. Nice bit of damage there onto Noz from Yixo. And both scouts are going to take control of the high ground straight away. They're into this, and we see our first frag comes in from Kunu, takes down Grabber straight away. Big bomb in from Kazuki, gets some nice damage onto Kunu, and Ekon is going to try and come in for the cleanup. Medic does go down, Garden Fungus just follows in. It is 4v5 right now, but it could still go either way. Hugo gets in on Rambasaur and Boar. Both of them go down to Tuja in the end. It does look like inVision eventually here are going to get the mid-fight win here, Chando, but Grabber's actually spawning first, so he's probably going to basically equal Ubers despite getting that early pick.
Yeah, that was just really quick mid-fight there. The quick pick from Grabber there instantly, on Grabber, instantly put inVision on the defensive there, and I think even after Tercio went down, they were still, by that point, they were too weak. They had to back up, and so real well played there by Kunu. As Tuja comes out, instantly going to get stabbed by Chupa, playing in a brilliant position there. That's going to eliminate about 450 HP from the push there, but some absolute carnage going on in top IT there as Garden Fungus gets a reflect onto Hugo, and getting so much damage out there, and he's going to keep on going forward there. He's getting the chase onto Tercio. Tercio falling very weak, 60 health, but he hasn't stopping. The help from Chupa, and then the bomb from Kazuki, and they're able to push this back forward now as Grabber falls onto about 95% Uber. They're going to be walking forward, and they're not wasting any time. Only a ×1 cap from there, and they want to push this straight in fact, and it's just going to be Tuja. He got a little bit baited, or maybe he was overextending a little bit there, CeeJaey, but he paid for it with his life terribly, and it looks like they're going to be walking perhaps with a full Uber advantage, almost getting the stab. Gets caught off, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was just kind of a sequence of events there, but in comes the Uber from the top PC. They're going to take down a lot of players. Chupa getting nice backstab onto Yigso. There's 3 players on a 15-second respawn. They got ×3 on the second point, and they're already in on last. Tercio doesn't realise he's going to take a sticky and surfs away, but Garden Focus is in there for the follow-up. Gets a 2k, taking down the medic 4 alive. There is a level 1 sentry on the far right. Kazuki is trying to spam it, but Barrett is just going to keep whacking it with his wrench. He's wrangling it now, doing the best he can, but Lucrosa are flooding onto the point. They're going to take that first round, despite losing the mid-fight. But there we saw, I think, the first mistake was them piling in through PC with no sort of advantage and just getting pounded by that close damage from the demo and the pyro. Then Tercio is the last player to die, so he spawns 10 seconds after the rest of his teammates. And then Tuja dies. Like you said, maybe he got baited by his team, maybe he was overextending, I'm not sure. But then it was just kind of a waterfall after that, or an avalanche, whatever you want to call it. We're onto a new mid-fight here. See if get an early med pick this time or not. Boar and Kuni both hiding in the choke, seeing if they get a snipe, but some soldier action. Granary mid, process mid, I should say. We're Garden Focus with 2 kills, 3 kills! Takes out Yigso, Tommy, and Yugo as well. He finally gets domed there by Kunu, but he's only got 2 players for company. He's going to go down to Chupa. Tercio is trying to escape to last. He probably will survive, as nobody else is near him. He's only at 56% Chando, and Lucrosa this time just looked totally dominating on that mid-fight.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea how Garden Fungus was able to get in the position that he was to be able to get an incredible 3k, but it was serious props to him for doing it, and the Lucrosa are not wasting any time. They're already using straight in there. Tertia doesn't quite have yet. Kazuki goes down during the push, but Kanar's able to pick Tuja. Yixo as well going down. Bees now going down as well. That's probably the 3 biggest hitters on their team at the moment in terms of damage, but they've had to back out, and Tertio actually wasn't taken down. He wasn't forced either, so he's going to have a full Uber advantage. So at this point now, they're going to be backing out and trying to get an opportunity to push in here. I mean, the game can be slowed down again, and the best thing about it for Lucrosa is that they're 1 up now. They're in no rush to force any reason to push here. They're going to wait until it's a perfect opportunity. So Chupa's just going to be buying his time, trying to get some picks there. He does get taken down by Yugo, but inVision are also pretty eager to get out now. We got Kunu playing in lobby with these. They are trying to start and push forward there.
Fazu taking a bunch of the Uber, takes down Boar, and they're actually all the way on point. So Lucrosa just ran away there. Once they lost Boar and they realised there was an Uber right on top of them, they just hightailed it out of PC, and they're actually quite close here. We could see a counter Uber coming in now, or they may take this for free, I'm not sure. Noz is trying to chase Tuja. Tuja's got the pistol still. He's just like, try it, bro, try it. You ain't going to do any damage to me. But he's actually getting a lot of damage down in this lobby. Grabber goes down. That's a +2 in chat, if you please, as he drops to Thazu. So inVision clawing their way back into this game here. 3 players left alive for Lucrosa, and they may be able to push out once again.
Quite possibly there. I mean, yeah, the sentry was the last holding it off now, and nice little stuff by Boar actually. He's going to be able to get out alive after making the mistake to try and contest by himself. Pick onto Tommy in fact, but should be worth noting, Tertio going down as well there, so it's going to set back them by about 20%, and Fazoo getting off by Boar as well. Bees as well going down. They're wasting no time. They are straight back in. Maybe they're going to be to a push. Maybe they're just going to be sitting there. Looks like they want to wiggle their way in. Oh, they find the stickies, almost getting the pick onto Grabber the medic there, but picked off by Garden Fungus, who goes down to Kunu, and now they're just going to be walking their way into the lobby room here, trying to maybe hold on to a small Uber advantage at about 20-25%. Might not be enough to go off. And as I was saying before, they are just in that driving seat. They are 1-0 up, holding the last, and it can be hell to push out on an equal Uber advantage. And it can be very frustrating when you're put down as well. So inVision have to think of something to get them out of this mess.
Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, Lucrosa can just play their time now. They are 1-0 up. You know, there is a round timer, of course, which can tick down, but it takes off so much time, which is not time inVision have. You know, they can't play around with the time. They need to kind of force an issue here. So Lucrosa can play aggressive, which they're kind of doing. They're trying to get Boar into lobby here and, you know, make some space, get some snipes for him. But you know, inVision meanwhile need to be doing the same with Kunu. They need to get him into a position. They need to make some space for him to maybe get a snipe onto someone, create a bit of a distraction so Tommy can get in there, maybe get a backstab on someone important. They need to actually be decisive and make some action. And there we go, Boar there with a frag to take down TuJaey. So that's a lot of HP off the field. He also gets down Hugo, so that's no heavy and no pyro. That might actually instigate a push here. Kunu is replying with some headshots of his own, trying to slow down this, and Kronk actually goes down. So maybe Lucrosa are going to change their mind. They don't. Tercio is the first person to use here. Grabber finally does use. Tommy doesn't get there in time. Kunu goes down to Boar on a 5k. A lot of aggression coming out of Lucrosa, but no time on the point just yet. Garden Fungus air blasting those stickies off, but he is going to get taken down by Dazu, who's going to on the cleanup crew right now. And it does look like inVision have held onto this. Boar and Kronk, the only players left alive. Boar is trying, he actually takes down Dazu, but Kunu finally gets some revenge on him, takes him down with a headshot. So maybe not enough frags there for inVision to push out. They could try slowly here, Chando, but Lucrosa kind of working their way back in.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they might be giving it a go. I mean, it's so important to get out of that last point, especially when you are, you know, not winning the match, to put it bluntly. You really want any excuse to capture the second point and actually start some momentum there. And I think that's what they're doing. Kasuki trying to make something work, but he's going to get taken down and picked off by TF2. Jimmy as well. That's going to leave the flank open for inVision if they want to. For the. So maybe inVision are going to be pushing through the ice room now. They are not wasting any time. They want to keep this momentum going, and fair play to them. But Boar's going to be able to get the pick onto TF2. Gets the pick onto Kunu as well. And that is a game changer. I mean, TuJaey able to get some picks. TF2 comes in and takes down Grabber. So maybe not. Coming in, taking down Knoz, and Kronk getting backstabbed as well. And yes, they are able to. They're only two spawners for Lucrosa, and it looks like Jimmy's going to have to back his way out. I mean, he's not really doing much, bless him. But yeah, wow, what an incredible play there by the inVision roster. You know, they came back after losing their medic and their sniper, I do believe, or their. But yeah, I mean, just insane. And now. Looks like they've slowed it down a little bit. They're going to be playing with a small advantage and looking for an opportunity to push through here.
I mean, you said it on the first map, Chando, on Coalplant, when Lucrosa lost their medic, the rest of the team just flooded forward and ended up wiping inVision. inVision have just exactly the same there. Boar with 2 huge kills to take down both Tercio and Kunu. And then the rest of the inVision roster's like, okay, we're not going to take that line down. They just walk forward and frag. They're already on second Bs here, getting a lot of cap time. And inVision pretty much going to get this. Is going to buy some time for Lucrosa to get their Uber. Grabber is at 95%. Boar and Chuba are going to respawn now. And it is a Kritz coming in from Tercio. They're going to try and get in here. Nos goes down, so that's no demo. But the counter Uber comes in onto Garden Fungus, and we see what he can do so far this game. Can't actually chase too fast, so Kronk turns around there. Is he using a gamepad or what? Takes down the spy before he's able to get the stab, and that's not gone very well for inVision. They have survived with 4 players up. Tercio still has that charge and actually building with TF2, so they are going to have a Kritz advantage here, Chando. They may decide to re-push this because they're going to get their charge before Grabber gets his.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about these Kritz plays from Tercio, to be honest. He had maybe a small opportunity there if they could have landed one good sticky, but it's too risky in my opinion. With just a normal Uber, I think he would have had far better results. But yeah, as you say now, he's going to have about a 30% and that is going to be more than enough to go off now. He was lucky enough to get out there, so fair play to him now. The Kritz comes out, and here it is. Gets denied by Garden Fungus. He knew and almost taken down Boar, but actually been able to get in there. The bombs from Bees, from Ixo are just going to be completely ineffective. As Grabber gets to Bees, and Ixo gets taken down. Jimmy as well going down, and that's a shocking performance from inVision there. They are going to have to play back now as Grabber holds onto his Uber. He's now got 100% Uber charge against the Kritz now, so they can just start moving their way in. Playing very aggressive, kind of playing by himself as the rest of the team back out. Chopper might be getting the stab to get caught out, however. And TuJaey's going to be able to get away with his life there, but most importantly was that Lucrosa now didn't have to use their Uber at all, and it looks like they're just going to be able to get this, but they're in contest. I guess they're just going to back out. They're putting down a little bit of damage, but playing the safe are inVision. They are just going to be playing on to second now, and Lucrosa able to take that for free just from that failure of a crit. That just really shows how much of a risky decision is CeeJaey.
Yeah, the crits comes in, and it's not going to do anything. We're just seeing a lot of stuff going on. Tercio now has 0 shot, although I say that Bees takes down Grabber, so, you know, if your crits doesn't do anything, it doesn't matter if the rest of your team actually do anything. And a huge jump in here from Yixo. Gets a lot of damage, but Garden Flungus reflects the pipe and takes down Bees and then just flames down Yixo. I mean, it's never nice to die to reflect, but especially not when it's one of your teammates who reflects it. Garden Fungus is on 3 dominations right now, so, you know, Boar's just behind him in the points. It's never nice when you allow a couple of mercs and they're the ones who are doing a hell of a lot of work for the enemy team. But it doesn't matter. inVision capture the midpoint. They are back in charge now. They have 100% in the bank. They're on that crits. They just need to come in here and get something done. Grabber, though, is aware. He knows it's crits. He's really far back. He's got his sniper, demo, pyro, heavy, everyone for company. He can't really get crits upon here. It's going to take an absolute miracle sticky to get something done, and Thazu gets some of the crits to take down Kronk. So Crit Scout takes down the heavy, but it doesn't matter. The counter comes in. They don't even have Uber yet, Chando, and they're picking up frags. Make that 3 alive now. Surely, yeah, Yixo and Yugo are going to go down. It's only Tommy. Tommy does get the backstab onto Noz, but that is a full wipe. And Grabber untouched, unscathed at 90% with Uber. Surely Lucrosa are going to capture midpoint here and probably even capture second.
Yeah, I mean, they can be on a roll now. They can take the straight into last, I think, if they choose to. They are going to send a few players forward, and the aggression from Bees now into sewer room there, so keep an eye out for him. He's been caught out, actually. And Fungus is going to make him down with ease, along with Kuno as well, going down to a backstab by Chupa. And they are able just to walk this straight in. Yugo as well, getting body shot. They don't have to worry about that pyro. They don't have to worry about that sniper. They can walk straight now. 100% Uber. Turkey only on about 60, so they can keep this going potentially. Really make something of it, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing here as they push through the rollout area. On the Zoo first. The Zoo taking the brunt of this. He's going to take down Tuja goes trying to back out. So now someone's got to deal with that sentry. Someone's got to put some damage onto it. No one seems to be as the Uber leads. And now the counter from Tercio comes out and they're just recapture most of the point there. And Kronk trying to enjoy a little lunchtime sandwich there. Actually gets caught out, however, and down. However, Boar getting the pick onto Ixo and Yugo going down here, and they're just flooding onto the point. The sentry's being built. Can they get built in time? No, you just put out the final damage that's needed, and then Jimmy will be able to follow up and take the round 2-0 to Lucrosa.
Yeah, I mean, Barrett did a great job there. He had his level 3 up, wrangled, and no one could get anywhere near the point. Despite the Uber coming in for Lucrosa for free, they couldn't get anything done. Because that sentry was blocking the point, and then actually Yixo took down Grabber, so they had no heals, and then the flank just decided to focus the point, and that late jump in from Kazuki just baited everyone to the point, and he killed them. So kind of well coordinated, but it was pretty much a flank push in there. But first casualty of this mid-fight is Chupa, so no backstabs coming from him. And Yugo actually takes down Noz early on, so that's no demo for Lucrosa. They are quite weak as well. Grabber only at 50 HP, they have to be careful. And they are picking up some frags, but they're also very weak. They may not want to stay in this fight. They're playing very passive in the choke and just taking spam, but Kuno takes down Ball. Maybe that's going to be the opening for his team to make some space, but no, now they're backed into a corner, and this is just Process mid-fight, but both teams don't really want to push across because, you know, they don't want to get sniped or they don't want to get spammed out, and there's like no time on the point here. As we see a big jump in from Chando, he does get forced onto Tercia. He goes down to about 30 HP, so that's a decent pop coming from him. Chupa's getting into position now, but Grabber has 100% Chando, and I think his team's about to Uber, which they do onto Ekeland. Bees tries to, he actually does kind of force and take most of the attention there, so not a bad play from him, but Lucrosa eventually going to win this mid-fight.
Yeah, it was kind of like a little stalemate within the mid-fight, which you don't see every day. But now are going to be wasting their time. Tommy getting double stab onto Kronk and Knoz, and now I think inVision might be able to make something of this. They're going to walk straight back in here. Tercio with his Pyro, just going to be walked straight forward there. They've got to watch out for Kiki, however. He's still playing there. He goes for the bomb. Get the first one. Oh, sorry, he does. And he kills Sergio. They saw him there, but Thazu is going to be able to pick off Kazuki along with Chupa there. And now Grabber on the respawn, at about 30%. Their Jim's going down, so now Grabber's going to have to back up a little bit. They're not going to be able to recapture the midpoint just due to the Zoo just going on an absolute rush after that mid engagement. Going to hold on to about a 50% Uber advantage, CeeJaey, and that's enough for them to slow this game down. And I think what they need now in this 2-0 situation is to slow the game down. You know, they've got 12 minutes left. They can sit tight. They don't have to make any risky plays here. And having an Uber advantage like that is the first way of keeping their team from pushing in. As I say that, they are starting to get in there. A double step from Tommy again takes down Grabber and Knoz. Was it Kronk? Kronk, sorry. Now Hugo pushing in, takes down Garden Fungus as well, but the inVision flank goes down along with Kunu. It's not going to matter. They're going to be able to walk this straight in, and now Tertio, 75% advantage, complete game changer, and they could technically walk this straight in.
Yeah, they could. I mean, they have got some respawns on the side of Lucrosa. Boar isn't out, but everyone else is. So they do have bodies to try and defend this point. As the Uber comes in, it is actually a crit, sorry. And Yixo just gets totally denied there by Kronk. Terzi also goes down to Noz. That sentry, if you're going to crits on Process, don't do it into a level 3 sentry. It is just, you have to do it from the opposite side. And they suffer there, they pay the price. As all of their hard hitters are down, no heals for them. And Lucrosa starting to push out here. Kazuki already on the second point. Starting to get some cap time for Lucrosa to push out. And Grabber once again has a charge coming up. He's at 50%. He is on Vaccinator right now. We all know about Grabber's Vaccinator plays. We all know what he likes to do. As Tommy there, again, he's getting a lot of frags. Normally Spy's not something you see do well on 5 CP, but he seems to be doing well at the moment. Kunu takes down Boar, and Kunu actually lands some headshots, but it doesn't matter. That Vaccinator is going to deny you a kill, I'm afraid. And I do wonder if this is all going to be about how if they're going to slow it down here, Chando. Like you said, they are 2-0 up. They can slow it down. Grabber is so weak. And then he gets headshot by Kunu, sorry. Even though he had the Vaccinator, it doesn't matter. That's going to do enough damage to take him down. So they have an advantage once again. And it's almost like take 3, Chando. They're on Uber this time. 70% coming up right now. And do you think they're going to seal it off and push it to last?
Well, now they have, as you said, they have another opportunity to try and win this back there, and Kunu's making a good opportunity, almost into a certainty now as Boar goes down along with Kasuki. They don't have that medic up yet, now they've just got to deal with that sentry. It's getting spammed big time, but it's finally going to go down. Now someone's got to deal with Kronk in the IT room. I don't think Bees has seen him yet. Bees is going to actually survive it and take down Kronk along with Chupa as well. Now they are going to be walking straight into here. It is back onto the Medigun now. I was going to say, you know, I think they've had so many failures with the crits now. They've really just got to give it a rest. And they finally taken the right decision. And they are playing the point here. Ix are just on the point. And Hugo trying to follow up along with Tuja. They're putting out good damage now. And they were just to walk onto the point. I think it was the Zoo that did it. He was just able just to sit on just for long enough, and no one was focusing him. They were too busy on that. And yeah, now that is going to make the situation a 2-1, putting inVision, maybe giving them a bit of confidence, putting them in a bit more of the driving seat there. It's far more of a realistic goal to be able to take 1 point than 2, quite obviously. And so it must be quite nice for them. Maybe they can turn this around.
Yeah, there's still plenty of the match to go. We see a big bomb in here from Bees, takes down Noz straight away. So no demo for Lucrosa. They do sacrifice their flank for it. But then we see a big bomb from Kazuki, and he takes down Tess. He's in fact dominating the medic there. Juba comes in and takes down Tuja as well. So a lot of players for inVision falling to the wayside. Lucrosa with the heals. Yixo goes for a jump in now. He can't get anything done. Kunu though getting some frags. He's got one on Chupa now. But then Boar takes him down. I think he just kind of blocked the headshot there. He was going to take down Boar, but Chupa ran in the way, and then Boar managed to get like the counter snipe. So Chupa there doing the old bodyguard routine and just diving in the way of the bullet. But back into the action. Grabber at 100% now. He is going to be ready for his team to push into the last. Boar peeking out onto a rollout, and he's going to get back some. He's going to take on Tercio. He's going to get the medic pick. So not only do they have 100% Uber advantage, inVision have no heals for last, and this is going to be huge if Lucrosa decide to kind of up the ante here and get another round onto the board, make it 3-1, and maybe make it a little bit more unattainable for inVision to get back.
Yeah, as the Uber comes out now onto the last point there, they kind of really balls this up. However, the Zoo got the pick up onto Kronk there, and I'm not sure where Knoz was. He went down as well, and unfortunately used that Uber, and they just wasted their opportunity there to take another round, in my opinion, because I mean, it ended up going onto the Pyro there, and he couldn't even get anywhere close to the Sentry, let alone the rest of the team, as Knoz tries to some damage out there, and he actually picks up against Bees, actually goes down in the end, but Kronk doing a lot of work, taking down X, walking straight back on point here, just leagues ahead of his team at the moment. Now, with Ixo down along with the Zoo, they could potentially make something of this, but it's going to have a small Uber advantage, so they may just be choosing to slow it down here and wait for the right opportunity, which I think would be the correct decision. But and that's Boar. He is going to pushing in on the left side there, trying to get those all-important picks, almost taking down TF2L. However, the Uber's going to come out from lobby though. Grabber certainly didn't, and he gets taken down along with TF2L just going ham. Takes down Garden Fungus, Jimmy, Boar all down. Now they're going to be able to take this forward, and Rambo Saw going down, only 3 up now. Knoz was able to get out because Suki was not, and he is going to go down as well. The only real survivor there, Knoz, may well have been a respawner. No, he wasn't. He actually must have jumped out there. Cheaper got out, but yeah, wow. So a really nice aggressive play there from inVision there to start making some play as we go down to the last 6 minutes of the game here. So if they can get forward and start getting some, it could be worth to win this game back.
Yeah, Grabber was on 93% there. Like it was pretty much equal Ubers, but Tercy was just building at a slightly faster rate. So, you know, 2 more seconds, Grabber would have had it, and they would have been able to counter Uber and actually maybe hold on to second, or at least not have as catastrophic of an exchange as they did there. But they're pushed back onto their second now. There's still the opportunity for them to slow this down. Grabber is kind of well protected in top lobby. The Uber comes in, but Garden Fungus is there just to push them away. He probably is going to trade his life for this. Yes, as he takes them down with that pocket pistol. But Kronk's picked up 2 kills on Yugo and Yixo. And Tercia also goes down there. So Kronk with the 3k, kind of ninja heavy going on that right there. Takes down 3 really important classes. And inVision may be able to get the cap here. But, you know, they're sacrificing a lot of players, and I don't know, this is when we get into the ground here for Lucrosa to really start to question themselves. They have 100% Uber, and normally they would want to push out, but in this current situation, take that back, they're going to push out anyway, as TF2L is on the point. He gets the cap, absolute madman, keeps the Fist of Steel up, keeps himself alive. He gets whipped to death by Kazuki in the end, but he actually did get the cap, and we do see the counter push coming in from inVision. They need to start getting some damage down. Yixo with the pipes is going to take down Noz. Kronk is coming in, doing the best he can, but he's going to get taken down by TF2L. There's 4 players dead for both teams, but inVision seem to be in control of second, and Lucrosa look set to try and hold on to last here. Boar is watching Dortmund 1. He just lands a shot onto Yugo. Both him and Yixo are very, very weak, so this push has been stunted for the time being, Chando, but inVision with a chance here to try and take this into a golden cap, or at least just equalize it up.
Yeah, it seems like they've turned their sort of heads around in terms of their... they're playing a lot aggressive than they were on Coalplant there, and it honestly working very well. You know, they are sacking a little bit more, and they're pushing, making some more ballsy pushes there. As I say that, the Uber coming straight out onto Ixo and on the Zoo there. They've got to be focusing their sentry. Not getting anything on the sentry, however. Boar are able to take down Ixo. Is pretty much going to put this in the ground, but they're able to cap it. How did they even do that?
TF2L got the Uber, walks in, sat on the point, and then he got a rankled sentry on him for ages. And he was like, okay, I can't cap or I'm going to die, and just walks away. And then Yugo walks up and he's like, there's some stickies on this point, but nothing else. I'll just air blast the stickies off the point and cap. That's exactly what he did. And they're going to equalize that game out. It is now 2-2 on this second map. inVision right back into this after being 2-0 down. Yixo takes down Noz. So again on this mid-fight, they look really, really strong. Lucrosa have a lot of work to do if they're going to win here. Kazuki with the big bomb gets denied though by the Pyro, and may actually die here. He does. He gets finished off by TF2L. Yixo goes down to Boar, but I do think Lucrosa are going to have to back off here because they have absolutely no ground control.
Yeah, now with only 3 minutes left in this game, it is so crucial to determine who's going to win this first fight, because you know they could potentially take this into the last round. It's not technically going to be moved to a golden cap just yet. very good opportunity. So they are going to be backing out. Grabber now with 100%, Terj with 100% as well. And they're finally going to be able to take the mid-point here and hold it pretty aggressively now. And it's looking, how they're going to assess this. They're not blessed with the most amount of time. And Boar actually getting up into B's is going to put that thing short. Taking down the Zoo as well. And Ixo as well. That's a nice little chain 3k there. And now Lucrosa might be able to walk this forward. They're going to be walking straight through onto the point here. inVision, I think they're a little bit concerned that losing their medic is going to basically just guarantee their loss here. So they back out. Boar is getting another
Someone stop this kid! He just took down Tuja, and then Tommy's going to come in from behind. He's just like, nope, just 180s, bam, headshot onto the spy, takes him out, and he takes down Kuno. The Ubers are used inVision and just like, stop right now, we're going to Uber in and start killing some stuff. Bees goes down though, and the counter Uber is probably more successful here. Gardenfungus on the chase, but no, he's going to take him down by Hugo, so it doesn't work out too well for him, and Hugo and Yixo are combining once again to try and get something through this choke. Nos is doing the best he can, as well as Kronk, but Kronk's going to get finished off, and Grabber gets taken down by Hugo. He's just going to WM1 through there. Jimmy can maybe take him out, but no, Hugo escapes with his life, and no, he gets finished off there. I'll take that back. 3 up for inVision, and wow, 1 minute and 20 seconds. Grabber died, so there's not going to be an Uber advantage for last, but it is going to be an opportunity for Lucrosa to push into last here and get the victory. I think inVision, the best they can hope for is to go to a golden cap and hold on to this, but there is a chance, Chando, there is a chance.
Yes, absolutely. With 1 minute left, pick on to Tuja from Boar, from the far left shutter doors. There is going to be a crucial opportunity that they need to push this, and they are going to be playing Vax as well. That's a smart decision. They're not going to have enough time to get a full Uber there, but getting the pick onto Kasuki. Jimmy as well going down. That's going to put Lucrosa's flank out of play there, and Kanal's falling very weak, however. So now they've got to make something of it. They are going to be pushing in with Vaccinator, which, pretty smart play, and they just got to be fixing down this sentry now. There it is. Actually, Kunu going down, sentry going down, Tuja as well. This is a perfect opportunity for them, and now it's just Gardenfungus on the point, but on the 20 comes and gets stabbed onto Grabber, got the stab onto Kronk as well, and that is more or less going to be at their B's, getting the cleanup that they need. A nice 3k onto getting the pick onto Rambasaur, and Jimmy's going to have to back out. 7 seconds left, and it's going to go to the golden cap, CeeJaey.
The two things that people always forget about when running vaccine, I was going to say that almost worked. Almost worked. I was going to applaud. I was going to, put down my mouse and just clap for the choice of going vaccinated, because it almost worked. But the two things people forget about Vaccinator, one, it doesn't protect against backstabs, and Tommy there picking up 2 big kills, because you're not invincible, you can still get backstabbed. And the other thing is that bullet and blast resistance are the two things people always go for. They want to be resistant to those big damage dealers. They forget about fire. And Hugo there with the fire came in on Pyro and just dealt a lot of damage to the people on the point. So, those two things combined, that was the only two things that could essentially have stopped that push, and they did very well together, Tommy and Hugo there. So they protected it from being a total loss. They're guaranteed at least 1 point, but they can make it 2 points for themselves here. 2-2. 2-2 so far on process. We will now go to, I think the rules now, Chando, are it's a timeless golden cap where we basically, the team that wins first wins. Whoever gets around wins, but there's no kind of whoever's in control of mid after 10 minutes wins. That's not a thing anymore. It's just, it goes on until someone wins a round.
So we could be here for a while, pretty much then.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to watch some TV tonight, but hey, it looks like I'm going to be casting Highlander for even longer. We can take a look at the logs, and I don't think it's going to come as much of a surprise that Boar actually top fragged there with 36 kills during the game. Thazi was not too far behind on 34. It was quite equal across the board between the two teams. I mean, there was only 14 kills difference between the two teams. So it's not as if it was really dominating. It seemed Lucrosa started very well, and then inVision started to get into their stride and fought back to make it 2-2. So I'm looking forward to this golden cap. I mean, for you, we saw some insane plays from a lot of players there, but for you, who needs to step it up in this golden cap round to really make the difference for their team?
Well, in regards of mid fights, I've seen a lot of work coming out from Kazuki, and I haven't actually seen that reciprocated from Bees myself. I mean, he's been putting out some decent damage and generally getting some okay picks, but in terms of his mid-fight performance, Kazuki always seems to have the high ground, and he's always making the plays that matter, that really, really are like changing the outcome of Lucrosa's mid-fights there. So I think maybe if Bees can have some more success on his bombs and have some priority against Kazuki, that we could see inVision making a better mid-fight here as we get onto the mid-fight there. Kanal's working a little bit quicker, but he does take quite a lot of damage, and the jump from both soldiers. Bees just playing on that ground, top ground there. Kunu getting the first pick onto Jimmy there, and now Kronk actually playing on top there, watching for that bomb, but Bees is going to be on the left side there, and Kronk goes down, and now this is looking in favour the inVision. But as I say that, Kazuki, I keep saying how good he is on these mid fights, and he keeps living up to expectations because he got the pick to Tertio. I mean, they're going to be able. I mean, he's going to take the mid point, but not long, because Grabber with that Uber advantage is able to just push forward, and I don't know if he had to use there, but he pretty much secured the mid point for Lucrosa there. So you know, it wasn't too bad. It's going to more or less put them on an equal, I mean a 10% advantage. So really nice play there by Kazuki, pretty much changing the outcome of that mid-fight just with one pick.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about Bees having step up there. I thought his mid-fight was great. He went in there really aggressive on the combo. So much attention from 3 players. The medic was totally occupied. He needed the rest of his team to get aggressive with him and walk across and really pressure the rest of the Lucrosa side. Ball going down there, who I have to say, you know, don't want to shout his praises too much. Don't want to get him too big of a head, but he had a nice pick onto Hugo earlier on as he tried to block the point. Just kind of turned around and took him down. But he's not going to be in action for the time being. And Tersi is at 90%. As the Uber comes in here, totally missed that. He's at 98% and Tersi goes down. It's Yimi, aka Ekeland, gets the frag onto the medic. Nobody else is really dying here. Kazuki jumps in and gets taken out for his troubles. And I mean, actually, inVision are getting the better of this. So Grabber and his scout are going to run away just to live to fight another day, and the rest of the players are coming in to maybe get some pressure onto them. And I think inVision may be able to get this this midpoint here, Chando, but they were so aggressive to try and get that mid pick. They knew they had a slim advantage that, you know, it ended up costing them a few players for it, but they could work this super advantage. inVision are going to get the cap, but 10-second respawn on Yixo. Boar, though, going down to Kunu. So, you know, 2 key players dead for both sides, and it's kind of this really, I don't want to say passive, but it's very slow and calculated. The teams don't want to take too many risks here.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot to be for. I think one major error is going to push either team back onto their last, and you really don't want to be on your last on a golden cap, because the other team's just going to wait for you to make a mistake, and you'll be eager to get out at the same time. As I say that, they start pushing in there. Kanaz with the sticky trap takes down these, and they can't really put through that well, so I guess inVision have just decided to back up a little bit. Tommy getting taken down as well. I can imagine now they're going to be waiting for the right opportunity to push it. Yeah, as you said, it's got to be calculated. Perfect. As the Zoo goes down, Garden Fungus as well. Is nothing going to be enough, though, for either to risk pushing, though, as Kuno actually getting the pick onto Boar might give them an opportunity to push in and take some more space with their sniper. It looks like that's what they're going to be doing, as Bruno now moving into sewers, starting to push in themselves. The Uber comes out, and the counter from Grabber, though, and it's just going to be on Noz, but you playing very aggressively. He's going to get caught out, however. There we go, finally down, and Knoz goes down, but a reflect onto Bees. Garden Fungus, he's such a reflect genius, what a god. And actually manages to take down Tertio as well. But despite that, Lucrosa only having 4 players up, Grabber only just on the respawn now, is going to put them back into last, and maybe we might even be seeing a dry push here. But it's unlikely. Yeah,
I mean, there are some respawns coming up now for Lucrosa. They are going to have an Uber advantage as well. Grabber's at about 40%. Tersi is only at 15%. So, you know, Lucrosa, they're in this situation now where it is a golden cap. If you lose a round, that's it. You've lost the golden cap. You do get a point, but the enemy team gets more. So they've got to decide, do they want to push on this 20% advantage? Do they want to push out from last, try to get second, and try to angle their way in? Or do they want to just hold on to last, wait for inVision to try and get a push, or wait for Boar or Chupa to try and get a pick, and then push out on an even bigger advantage? Based on their positioning, it doesn't look like they want to push out here. So it does look like we can have a little bit of a stalemate like we saw earlier on. Boar there does take down Barrett, so the sentry that was watching second for inVision is down. But Tercio, there you go, calling out that he has his Uber. He's at 100% as well, so Lucrosa will have that to contest with. If they push out here, then Tercio is going to be ready to use his charges. Cooney's on a 6-kill streak, takes down Kronk. That's a pick for maybe them to work on. And B's winning the MGE battle over the soldiers, takes down Kazuki. So that's 2 kills, but I don't think that's going to be enough for them to want to come in. Actually, take that back. It is enough for them to come in. They're going to take down a lot of flashes there. They lose a few players. In fact, they lose 3 players before the counter comes in, and players are going down. There's only 4 left alive here for inVision. That wasn't a great Uber from them at all, as Lucrosa is starting to decide, okay, that's enough for us to push out here. Noz and Kazuki starting to pressure the point. And lots of damage there. Eklund getting the frag onto Yigso. Demo down. And if you're feeling ballsy, Chando, that may be a catalyst for you to push all the way through onto mid.
Yeah, quite possibly. And that's one thing Lucrosa have been doing quite well, is sort of taking that momentum and continuing it as far as they possibly can. And yeah, as you say, they're pushing now straight onto mid. They are wasting no time and playing with about an equal Uber percentage wise, but with that frag onto Ixo, inVision just weren't able to lock down the midpoint there, and the entirety of Lucrosa were able just to bombard through the tight choke points without having to worry about demo spamming them. So they were able just to get in now. Grabber with 100%. They've also set up at level 3. So and the pick onto Ixo might prove what they need. I think either team here is trying to make a playoff sort of anything, which is surprising. And Boar taking down Thazoo as well. That's 2 picks. Going to be looking to choose to push from the IT room. And yeah, they're going to be walking straight on here, but Knoz gets taken down by Kunu, and inVision playing really far back. I think they've given this up, and the double stab onto Kronk and onto Rampersor by Tommy is going to slow him down even more. And now Tuja is going to lead this push, maybe back out. But is it going to be too late? It's Thazoo who's going to be actually in the aggressive angle, actually gets the force as well. That passive hold actually worked. I didn't think that they could pull it off, but they really have. And now it's going to be Grabber and Kasuki. They're going to be the only ones there that are going to be able to back out. And better still, inVision are going to be able to hold on to their second point.
Yeah, that was a really interesting chain of events there. I have to say, the assassin classes for inVision getting some big picks just to kind of slow down Lucrosa's push. A lot of damage onto Thazoo. He's flying through the air, but he's going to survive and just kind of pistol people from a distance. And I think inVision are actually going to be able to capture this midpoint for free. There's no real contesting coming in from Lucrosa. Maybe they feel it's better. Like, again, this is the golden cap kind of syndrome, where teams really don't want to take a risky fight. They prefer just to back off to the next point and make sure they have their entire team ready for a defense, as Thazoo goes down to Kazuki, who goes down in exchange to Tuja. So basically just trading a couple of players here. Kunu, though, winning the sniper battle there, takes down Boar, so he's not up for another 20 seconds. There's going to be a little bit more space for inVision to poke and prod through that choke, but Noz is there just trying to damage them and make sure they don't get much space. And Yixo goes down, and Tercio goes down. Was that a drop to Eklund there? Jimmy, who just comes in. He was so close to the Uber. And in the end, it's just kind of the dry defense. It wasn't even a push from Lucrosa. They just wait for the players to walk into them, and then they frag them. Noz gets another couple there before deciding, hey, let's just chill in sewer for a little bit. 4 alive for inVision, 100% Uber for Grabber. This may be the opening that they needed here, Chando, to push all the way to last and get the golden cap.
Yeah, and that they are. They're basically just this back and forth situation we've moved ourselves into, as Chupa goes and gets the pick onto Tertiary once again. So Grabber's going to be holding on to even more of an advantage. In fact, there's going to be no heals. So I would not be surprised in the slightest if Lucrosa went for this push now. And Kasuki going down isn't really going to slow him down at all, though. Thazoo going down as well. And now Tertio just respawning. And it looks like they are going to be wanting to maybe just wait for the for their Kasuki before they push in here, or maybe waiting for a pick as Boar actually goes down to some little sticky traps there. But yeah, now they are really in the driving seat now. They've about maybe a minute before Tercio has equal Uber roughly. And there's a lot of stuff they can do in that minute, and they are actually just going to start off by just hopping on the point there. So Chupa basically drawing some time onto the point before the push, so that's a really smart play. So maybe now we can see a push. Maybe we'll wait for Chupa to get back into position first, but that's a smart play regardless, TJ.
It is. It drew a lot of players back here, but the thing is, inVision have telegraphed the fact that they're using the vaccinator. So Lucrosa know this, they just use their Uber in. There's nothing protecting the point at the moment except for Hugo. He's doing his best to deny the space. Tommy does get the backs up onto Boar, so there's actually not going to be any sniping going on, but there is that level 3 sentry. But Garden Focus just drops down. He takes down Hugo, he takes down Barrett and the sentry. Tercio actually might burn to death. No, he manages to get to the resupply just in time, but there's enough players on the point to maybe do this. Kronk is getting the cap. No, he gets finished off by Kunu. He's so close to going down. Grabber with a little surf there, and Thazu isn't able to get the chase because he gets taken down by the mini sentry of Rambasaur, which is just chilling in door number 1. And in the end, Lucrosa don't get it. Huge plays there from a couple of players. In particular, Garden Fungus just dropped in and just dealt heaps of damage, taking down that sentry. But in the end, Tercio respawns on Medigun this time, so he's going to have an Uber charge ready if he gets there. But Grabber is at 100% in a couple of seconds. If Lucrosa push on the dot here, they're going to have a huge advantage to try and get the med pick. Tercio is holding very, very close to the lobby as well. So if it does come in, Chando, it's not going to go well for him.
No, absolutely not there. I mean that, and they've still got half of the point already captured now, so they are going to be using straight in now. Tercio now on 95, but Tuja and Ixo have already gone down before the counter can come out, and now Thazu going down as well. So now all they have to do is just back up. The Bees in a great position, taking down Knoz and Grabber. He was waiting for the exit, and they suffer heavily, but Kronk's going to be walking straight back in along with the Helkasuki, and now just on the point, and back to it. No, they can't. That is a GG, and Lucrosa are going to take the golden cap win for the map of C process.
Kazuki there with, similar to how they won the second round, with just a late bomb in, where everyone was fighting, no one was focusing on anything that was coming in through the doorways. He jumps in, took down Tercio, and he took down another player, I forget who it was, but it's just kind of that late bomb where you're not really expecting a soldier to dive bomb you in, and in the end managed to help make it 3-2 for Lucrosa on process. So that is going to be an extra 2 points for Lucrosa, 1 point for inVision. They do get a point as they did play the golden cap. So in ETF2L rules, you do get a point for at least participating in a golden cap. But if you win, you do get 2. So the eventual score between these two teams, 3-0 on Coalplant, 3-2 on process, which means 5 points for Lucrosa, just the 1 for inVision. And I don't know, we said at the start maybe inVision would have the edge, despite Lucrosa coming in as high champions and having kind of, the history between the two teams, that inVision looked to be kind of on form so far this season. So would you put this down as a surprise, Chando?
I would put it down as a little bit of a surprise. I'd also put it down somewhat to their use of Merc. I feel that Boar and Garden Fungus were probably Lucrosa's biggest assets that game, in terms of their kills and in terms of just everything, the way they played, and like Garden Fungus especially, I'd have to give a shout out as maybe the MVP of the match, closely followed by Boar, and I think it gave them a huge edge that otherwise they maybe would have struggled a bit more. I mean, I'm not slating Andrew, and I'm not actually sure who Lucrosa's main pyro is, but they just excelled hugely by the use of Boar, who was able just to get a huge frag superiority, and Garden Fungus, who was playing such a vital role in almost every single one of their pushes, and I think that's why they ultimately had the edge over inVision.
Yeah, I mean, we can take a look at the logs from that golden cap round. I mean, golden cap is very difficult to actually look at any logs to decide anything. Is actually Ekelund there top fragging with 14 kills in 14 minutes, and he went 14 for 5. So that's pretty decent coming out of him. Garden Fungus there with 13. Also, same as Kunu, 13, going 13 for 4. So despite being on the losing team, having a nice KAD, as well as Tuja there, going 8 for 3. But Grabber only died once during the entire quarter of an hour we played that Golden Cap. Tercio dying 6 times. So we saw some interesting pushes from both medics with Vaccinator and different holds and stuff like that. And I do think process was very close between the two teams. But you talk about the two mercs being the difference here. Do you think that if they had their regular lineup, I mean, Andrew is considered one of the best NA snipers as well, and Lucrosa's usual pyro was Hugo, so I can't remember who it is now. But do you think if they had their normal roster, do you think inVision would have swayed it?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I think maybe. I mean, especially on Coalplant, there was so much more than just Garden Fungus and Boar. It was, it was complete just role in terms of their cohesion. I think that Lucrosa would have definitely taken Coalplant. It seems like it's their really strong map, and I've never seen any team play as well as I think they had today, especially for a debut Prem team. So I think they would have taken that one. As for process, I think that Boar and Garden Fungus playing such a crucial role in all the pitches and how many frags that they got collectively. I think that maybe if it didn't have those players, I think that inVision may have had a slight edge and may have been able to take the Golden Cap win or make the overall match a tie, because I think they could have taken that victory.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's we did bill this as possibly one of the closest matches of the season, because these two teams were in the high ground final. They've been playing well so far this season, despite the fact they are the newbies to the division. But in the end, Lucrosa coming away with the lion's share of the points, and that's going to give them a total of 9 points for the season. It's going to mean they leapfrog over inVision up into 4th, dropping inVision down into the relegation position. They are on 7 points themselves. So in actual fact, playoffs aren't out of the question for either team. inVision still have to play Failer. So if Strong Opinions do them a favour at the weekend and beat Failer 6-0, and they in fact 6-0 Failer in their final week match, then inVision will still get playoffs. So that possibility is still there for inVision. And Lucrosa, they have one more match. Let's take a look. I haven't actually seen their schedule. Their final match is against SCTK on Badwater. So again, if they win that will put them on 15 points. So again, still very possible for them to actually get into playoffs. So it's all up in the air. It all depends on the results of the rest of the week. We will have those matches casted soon. We have a game tomorrow, which is going to be Tourette's Chess Club versus SDCK. On these very maps, Coalplant and Process, and it's going to be myself and Chando again, I believe, which is going to be a delight for you guys. And then on Sunday, we have Strong Opinions versus Failer Esports. I'm not sure who the casters are, but that'll be happening on Sunday. So it may not be happening, I've been told, because instead we have a charity event called Heals for Reals, which will be on KritzKast. So if you want to see some stuff going on for charity, I think if you donate, you get a nice in-game thing as well. I read on Twitter earlier on, so if you want to donate to charity and get something in TF2 for your troubles, then definitely check out KritzKast at the weekend. But Chando, do you have any last words before we disappear?
Just a super big thank you to everyone who's been watching. Thank you for staying tuned. Shout out to the 6-on-6 grand finals as well that is currently in casted. So now that's over. Be sure to check that out. It is Ascend versus Swift. So good luck to both those teams. Quick reminder of our KritzKast Patreon. We are just working so hard to try and just output as much quality content as we can, casts and podcasts and everything. So better animations and transitions and whatnot. So, and it all takes money. So if you want to give something back to the community, there will be a link in the chat, and also a quick casting call. We are looking for new talents in the production side and in the casting side. So if it's something that you feel like you'd be interested in, but you've got no experience, it doesn't matter. There'll be an application form. It'll be up on the chat as I'm talking. So please feel free to fill out something, and we'll go through every application individually, and hopefully we can get you a trial sorted as soon as possible. But I think that's going to do it for me. CeeJaey, you got any last words?
No, I think you said it all, mate. So thank you very. I just want to shout out to you and Wiethoofd. I mean, it's always nice casting with you. I do enjoy it, and it's great to watch a good game. It's been a really nice game to watch today.
Very good game,
and it's always nice spending time with other people who enjoy Highlander. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for more action, guys. Stay tuned. For now, go and hop over and watch Sixes. It is Swift versus Ascent. I'm going to see who's winning. And see what's going on in the other game mode of TF2. But thank you for watching, guys. Lucrosa versus inVision was our match today. Lucrosa taking away the match 5-1. We'll see you next time.